Welcome back to Shaun Spins. This is episode 5, and I hope everybody's well and safe. I heard we're doing a punk rock special today. There's no records here. What are we doing? Cassettes? We're doing cassettes. I thought this was called Shaun Spins. Okay. You made a title? Wow. Let's check it out. Well, that was something. What do we got here? Shaun Spins cassettes. Hey, Pennywise. Okay, not doing that one. Hey, Meat Puppets too. Oh, come on. It's on SST Records too. Okay, Ramones. Alrighty. I notice everything's getting... Okay, what do we got here? Iggy Pop Candy. Of course not. This is even a cassette single, which is a whole other story. Okay. Well, the next one, of course. Oh, of course. There it is. Duran Duran Decade. I gotta tell you, this is not punk rock. Okay, yeah, no, I'm not doing this. No, I think we're canceling cassette. I mean, that's a good cassette, but it has nothing to do with punk rock. You know what? I'm gonna go with the new Grandaddy. This is the anniversary of Sophtware Slump on a wooden piano. We're gonna go with this one. Okay, let's start it up. Oh, where am I now? Like, I'm stuck in a computer. Let's get it going. You know, Grandaddy, to me, has always been one of my favorites. It was introduced to me by a friend of mine when I was in college. She was super excited to get me into a band. Everybody was trying to get me into new music, and she introduced me to Grandaddy, and it stuck. Now, the first one for me was this album right here, the Sophtware Slump. This album is unbelievable to me. Let's get a little bit into the history of Grandaddy, and then we'll get into our record. Now, when I first heard Grandaddy, I had no idea where they were from. I thought it was a British band. It was just so different. Seeing footage of them playing, it was just so interesting. There's Jason right here with all the equipment. Now, as I said earlier, the album I got into first that was introduced to me was the Sophtware Slump. And it's just a beautiful story. And a lot of the story deals with a robot. I couldn't get over how amazing the music is. Now, what the record we're going to view today is Jason by himself redoing the Sophtware Slump on a wooden piano. Now, like I said earlier, the intro for me was this album, Sophtware Slump. And, you know, Grandaddy was not an easy band to find. You know, that's going to be one of the things I think in history people aren't going to realize. Like, a lot of people just go online and type in a band and they start listening to it on some service. But yeah, some bands back in the day, it took forever. I don't remember ever seeing Mudhoney or Tad growing up in a record store. And you couldn't go to like Sears or someplace in the mall. I remember I went to the mall and I asked for the Foo Fighters when it first came out, and the person said, "Who are the Foo Fighters?" So this album for me, like I said, was introduced to me in college. A lady I know, she was so happy to introduce it to me, and we would drive around listening to it. And when I finally got my own copy, I was in New York City at a Tower Records in between a job interview, and I found it up there. It's just an amazing album. My dog even loved this album. There was one particular song she would dance to. She would get on her back and scoot around with her legs up in the air. It just tells this great story, and it's just so heartwarming. Like I said, part of it deals with a robot, and then just part of it, it's just, I don't know what to say. It's just beautiful. So here are some of the other things, and I found a lot of these used years after the fact. Like, here's one album, and it still has the promotional company on it and the hole punch. I found it for a couple dollars. And this one got famous because of AM 180. They ended up being on that zombie movie. There's another one I found used years later. This came out of a radio or something too. It's got a hole punch in it. There's another one I found for a couple dollars. This is Someday. This is a really fun album too. El Camino's in the West, and now it's on. This one's really got a lot of the sound effects. Just interesting things. And this was the last album they did that I have. And this is before one of their members passed away. And this was an okay album. As I said, though, my favorite is the Sophtware Slump. I don't even know how to put it. The whole album is just unbelievable. Now, the difference with the new one, and here it is right here, is this is done by Jason by himself, and this was on Danger Bird Out Records, or Danger Bird Music. I imagine it's called Danger Bird Records. Now, I picked this up from Newberry Comics website. They had a few versions of this on Danger Bird's website, and I came very close to getting one. They had a version where they have an outtakes from this, and it came with this, and then they had one that came with a t-shirt and all this. And some of them cost so much money, and I still almost did it, but I ended up going with just this version on the wooden piano, which is Jason. And I was going to get it from the site. It came in different colors, and one came with a t-shirt, but I ended up going with Newberry because they said it would come with an insert of Jason's autograph. Well, I assumed it was just going to be the same little picture with Jason's autograph. Well, I ended up getting it the other day, and it came with this book. And, the band signed it. And I was like, wow. And on the back, it has a little tribute to the fallen member for Kevin Garcia. And I thought it was going to be a little tiny CD booklet and a story with photographs. I love that they keep up the motif with the broken keyboards and stuff like that from the original. And as I said, this is the 20th anniversary. So I thought this was an amazing touch. So the record itself, this was kind of interesting to me. It just comes in a sleeve with all the stuff. It's the same exact track listings from the Sophtware Slump 20 years ago with all the electric effects and stuff like that. Now, what I find interesting about this sleeve is just paper, and does it attract static and dust. But I absolutely love this touch that side A is the key A, and side B is the B key. It also came with a digital download card, and I even got a kick out of the design of the digital card because that even says Grandaddy on it, and the other side's got the code. Now you might be saying, Shaun, is it worth getting this record with just Jason by himself? Well, yeah. Although this version with the entire band and some of the effects and things like that, futuristic effects, this is unbelievable. But the new version kind of gives this feeling that you're in the room by yourself with Jason. Yes, there's times where there's like a double track vocal or things like that, but it's kind of interesting. So Minor at a Dial of You, one of the songs, and this one's got a different voice, and on the new one, it's just Jason doing the vocals for everything, all the different voices and effects and things like that. It's quite beautiful, and it still gets me. I mean, the whole album, like I said, it starts off like you're going on a journey. You're introduced to the robot, Jed, and it just goes through this whole thing. And then this idea of wanting to go home, and then the last track, So You Aim Towards the Sky, is just a beautiful way to end the album. I remember I saw that movie years ago called Lawless, about the bootleggers in West Virginia, and there's a scene in the movie where it's snowing, and that song starts playing, and it's someone different singing it, and right away I go, I know that song. So it's just a powerful album. It's a powerful emotional album. Do I necessarily know what it's about? No. Do I relate to it? Somehow, yes. I really recommend Grandaddy. I actually would start off with the original album, the Software Slump, the full-on band with everything. It's just so different. It's so different than what was coming out at the time. It's different from what's coming out now. Then I would highly recommend the new one. And like I said, I thought it was an added feature that the autograph, and I've seen so many versions of this vinyl, and like I said, mine is just the plain black. An amazing piece of history. I'm glad that Jason did this version. I kind of feel like I wish I got the other stuff, but it's sold out, like the deluxe version with all the stuff that was on the website. But I'm happy to have this. Well, until next time, hope you're all well and stay safe and keep listening to music.
For a closer, more detailed picture, use either the zoom or the micro zoom controls. Good